All right, welcome everyone to the Hire My VA Team and Business Building Podcast, where we help you to reclaim your freedom through hiring and thriving with virtual assistants without breaking the bank. And that means your bank, which is the most important bank. And I'm Dave Broughton. I'm here with my partner and my great friend, Larry Broughton, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about in this episode.
Hello, David.
Hey, Larry, how are you doing, my friend?
Awesome.
That's
been a great week. Been a great week.
Yeah. It's going to be a great week coming up, right?
Yeah, always positive attitude.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another great question that we can share with our folks. You ready?
Great. Yeah, let's do it. What is it?
Here it is. What if my virtual assistant wants to change their hours? How do I handle this?
Well, this question came up in our last community call.
Yeah, it did.
And so I'm glad that we're addressing this, maybe in a little bit more compact format, which is just a great reminder, folks. One of the most valuable parts of this program is the community and the community calls that we do, right? Twice a month, I think we're doing them right now, where you can come on and ask your questions. Our goal here is to help you get more freedom. And I would just remind you, wherever you're listening to or watching this podcast, it would help us out if you put comments in there. It helps the algorithm. People find it easier. And frankly, it gets a little bit more banter and communication between everybody. So the question is, what if my VA wants to change their hours? It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We keep reminding folks that when you treat your virtual assistant just like any other team member, which I encourage you to do over time, and that is to make sure that they share the same core values as your organization, that they understand the goals and mission and vision of the organization, you're going to see a whole lot more productivity. But life happens, life changes. Dave, we were talking to a guest on the podcast, Naveen, last week, and he'd had a VA who'd been with him for over 8 years.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Daphne's been with us for
5
how many years? 5+ years.
Yeah.
Life happens. People get married, they move, they have children, kids graduate from college, whatever it is, it happens. So what we need to remember, Dave, is that you're hiring VAs to bring more freedom to your life, and you're building your business to help you in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not going to work, then it's not going to work. But I would encourage you, if it's someone that you want to work with, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. Mm-hmm. Can you be flexible? Is it worth the turnover? I think we need to ask ourselves, right?
Because there's a cost to that turnover.
Absolutely. There's value to the institutional DNA that they might have or that they carry with them. What happens if they're not with you any longer? So there's likely to be hiccups if you can't be flexible. So where am I going with this? There's probably not like a cut and dried answer.
No, there isn't.
Like yes or no. There's not a black or white on this. You got to do a little bit of an evaluation.
Yeah, and I think it really starts with understanding, right? Having that conversation Great point. Really, really understanding the why, And I don't know if you guys have ever, and I know you've read it, and I have, and other folks, hopefully you have too, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Sure. And I just love, I think it's number 5, where he says, seek first to understand and then to be understood, right? So if this kind of a request happens, you're not going in and saying, well, don't you realize that blah, 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 we said you have to be on this time because of blah, 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 blah. You go and you say, well, tell me more, right? Let me understand what's going on as much as you can tell me, and let me understand, well, why, and what the benefit is going to be, for you, and then how it's going to potentially benefit our organization, right? Have that conversation and try to understand what's going on.
And sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't.
Yeah.
But if you seek to understand first, you're going to go a lot further. And don't take it personally.
Good point. Yeah.
Don't take it, because sometimes we just get pissed off. Well, don't they know how it's going to impact my life? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Well, because we oftentimes we don't like change. Change is where innovation comes from, though. Change is part of life, but we may not like it, though, because we're dealing with a bunch of other stuff. Because what you're probably going to find is that your VA team member is going to want to change their schedule in the most inopportune time.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law is probably going to happen when you've got a cut over to a new piece of IT that's going on in the organization, or you got new clients coming on board. It's just going to happen, right? So we've talked about the good side of that, right? Keeping the institutional DNA going in the organization, limiting the amount of turnover, which brings down costs and keeps productivity high. But you know what? There may be times, Dave, when you've got a VA who's just kind of on the bubble, and you've been suffering through it with them, and it's been all right. They've been okay. You know, it's kind of been like the old, milk toast, just like mediocre kind of stuff. So this may actually be the opportunity to up your game.
That's right.
So you may say, well, thanks for letting me know, but I really need to have somebody. So how long can you give us, come up with a transition plan, but find someone who's going to up your game in the organization, who's going to set higher standards, who's going to offer more productivity. So look at it as an opportunity to grow, to improve, to set higher standards, to build a better team. Because if you've got more than one VA, or you've got a VA and some kind of in-house staff, team members as well, whenever you increase the standards, everyone moves up, right? Including yourself, right? So, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, no matter what the situation, it's somebody you want to keep or someone you want to actually set free, look at it as an opportunity.
Yeah. And part of that opportunity could be, if you are potentially open to it, whatever they're going to do, whatever they're going to shift to, it could mean more productivity for them. And it also could mean more productivity for you. For example, if they switch to having, say, less overlap with you, well, that could be okay, because then you can spend time concentrating, getting things prepared for them to execute while you are sleeping, and they are not necessarily, on at the same time with you and bothering you through Slack or whatever. And I don't mean bothering you. I mean, communicating with you that way and disturbing your concentration, right? So there could be some productivity advantages, and you could switch a little bit about the way that you're doing things. So I think it's like we said, have that conversation and maybe be open and potentially try it. But if you're going to try it, it doesn't mean you are necessarily going to say, okay, we're going to switch hours and it's going to be like that for the rest of our lives. No, you may just say, okay, we're going to try it temporarily. And if it doesn't work out, then somebody's going to have to make a change, right?
Right. That was the final point that I wanted to make, is don't be afraid to communicate and do things on a trial basis.
Yeah.
But the key is communicate about it. And I would give it a set or a specific set of time. Don't say, let's try this for a while. What's a while? Is it a week? Is it 6 months? What is it? Say, hey, let's try it for the next 30 days, or let's try it for the next 90 days. And if it's just not working, then let's revisit it, and then we'll come up with a transition plan.
And if you do this, give yourself a little bit of an adjustment time, because there's got to be some adjustment time.
2 days won't be it.
Yeah, it won't. And that means that it's adjustment for you, for your other members of your team, and for this person.
And clients.
Yeah, and clients
too. It does depend on what role they play in the organization, right?
Yeah. So I guess Larry, the way we'd sum it up is, there is no easy answer. You got to potentially understand what they're going through, what's going on, and then decide if you want to, maybe sacrifice one way or the other or not, and maybe move on. And like you said, use it as an opportunity to potentially upgrade your team if it doesn't work out.
Well, this is just a comment that's we should probably say more often. Most of these questions, there is no exact right or wrong. There is no black or white. There is no, just cut and dry answer, because it's business. Yeah. We're dealing with people. We're dealing with moving targets constantly. And so there's a lot of caveats. And if that's not how your brain is built, then either you need to get more flexible, or you need to build a team who can help you with this, right? So
yeah, and I love the way you said that, because it really means that when you have an issue like this, or when you're ready to, or if you need to make a decision and you're not quite sure, that's why we have the community.
that's right.
Because you can come in, you can get on a call with us, ask your question, and then we can ask some questions of you to get a little bit more in-depth understanding of what's going on to help you work through it.
That's right.
Whichever way you want to go on it. Yeah.
Yep. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
All right. We want to put a bow on this one.
I would say this. I'm going to put an exclamation point
There you
on
go.
this one. Go to the community.
Yes.
Ask your questions there.
Yes.
Offer feedback to other people in the community who've got some question. It really, I believe, is the most valuable part of this. Get on the calls that we do twice a month. Ask the questions there, banter it around, because Dave, you and I may have felt like we've answered this, but there may be some nuance that just didn't connect with somebody, right? So if you got a question, if you felt like we didn't really answer the question, or you got a comment, put it in the comments wherever you found this podcast, and we'll get back to you.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
There you go. All right.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being with us today. Remember, building a team is the way to reclaim your freedom, and we're here to help you. So 3 things we'd love for you to do. We really, really would appreciate it. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already done so.
That's right.
Number 2, give us a rating, preferably 5-star. And then number 3, go to HireMyVA.com for more information on our course and what we just talked about, our community, which is so, so valuable. So remember, though, even without experience, you'll learn how to prepare for, hire, and thrive with virtual assistants. Larry and I have helped a lot of folks. We've got people we're helping all the time, and we just want to help you too. We want to help you reclaim your freedom. So just go to HireMyVA.com for more information.
That's right, my friends. Don't forget to go to the community and do yourself a favor, do the world a favor. Go do something truly significant today. All right, my friends, God bless you. God keep you. God hold you. All right. Go get them.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
See ya.